How you doing? It's me, Ralphie Marino, host of the 94X Morning Show. And here we are 10 years later. Can you believe it's been 10 years? 10 years since the tragedy of 9/11. I still can't believe it. I remember exactly where I was. I had just left working at KTU in New York City, and I was at a station called Star 93.7 in Boston. I was there literally for 9 days. I was only there 9 days. I had just started, and my morning show producer had started 2 days before. And we were in the studio. It was about 8:50, and we were interviewing Pat O'Brien. This is when he was still with Access Hollywood. And we went to our traffic girl, and her name was Frankie. And Frankie said, as she's doing the report, right in the middle of the traffic report, she's talking about traffic on Boston highways. And she's like, "Oh my goodness, I'm just getting word that a small plane has crashed into one of the World Trade Center towers." We're like, "Oh no," And of course, me being from New York, I'm like, "Oh my God." So I'm Frankie, keep us posted. I'm telling her. She's like, "Okay." And we're sitting with Pat O'Brien. Then we have the Today Show on, like we always did in the morning, and you can see the smoke coming and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, Pat O'Brien looks up and he's like, "That was no small plane." Walks out of our studio, gets on his cell phone, walks back in our studio, and says, "I gotta go. There's a car waiting for me to get me back to New York right now. That was no small plane." And then minutes later, the next plane hit, and then what we did at that radio station was we just played news, like real news feeds for maybe a day, and then we came back on, myself and my former morning show partner Karen and our crew, and we just opened up our phones and didn't play a lot of music, and we just slowly integrated back into life just like everybody else. And I just remember not I left the radio station to go home. I lived in New Hampshire at the time, and then came back, and all I could do was hope that everything one day would be okay. And here we are 10 years later. We're Americans, and we get through the worst things, and we try to do it where we can really help each other. And watching from afar and being in New York, it was very tough. It was very tough not being home, even though I was close by. There's a sense sometimes when you're like, I want to go home. I just want to go home, and I couldn't get near the city, of course, as you all know. And my thoughts and prayers are with families of victims and families of first responders and people who are still alive that went in there to help people that are having a tough go of it now. I hope you all will continue to do well. I hope we all, as a nation, will continue to do well as we look back 10 years ago. And I was going to write this down, but it's easier just to speak. And I hope everyone will be okay today and tomorrow and Sunday and going forward forever and ever. As they say, there but for the grace of God we go. And we'll do it together as Americans, as New Yorkers, first and foremost. See you guys later. Bye.